Hi everyone, it's Bobby, the Paper Jungle. I am here to share with you my newest project. This is for Country Craft Creations, and this is a 2-volume calendar project using the Country Craft exclusive collection called Remember the Time. Now if you ordered the kit, you will receive this die-cut piece that in your kit that says Our Year, which is the title that Tammy made for the project, but I decided to save this piece for the box that I will make at the end that holds both volumes, because if you've checked out the collection, you know that there are 6 months in volume 1 and 6 in volume 2. So this one is January through June, and I just went into Word and typed my own title for the front page. All of these flowers and leaves came in the collection. I did add these little silk rosebuds for my collection just to bring some more color into it, but these little beads came in the kit as well. And then I used a piece of the cover sheet from the collection to make my spine. So all of this will be in your tutorial. So this is I think it's 7x9. The chipboard came in the collection, so it's 7.5 by 9, and the spine is 3 inches, and it's all pre-cut. I wrapped it with the black, then I used some craft in some of the summer white. So on the inside of the cover we have January, and we have a little dust. Okay, January has a pocket, and I have put a little piece of acetate in there, but that's optional, you don't have to have it. And I made a little pocket here, and I put a little bridge to connect the two triangles, or whatever they're called, corner pockets. And I used the embellishments, and these are some border strips that I just made a flag with, and put it up at the top. So on January you have a little folder, and I've used the embellishments there. You have to fussy cut them, but I don't have an issue with that. I think it's super easy, and I enjoy doing it myself. Oh, I have a little charm here. This little snowflake charm was in my stash, and I just hung it on there. So this opens up, and then you have area for several photos, and you can put photos on the back as well. Then this was one of the cut-aparts. Says, "Trust in the magic of new beginnings." Isn't that pretty? Then here's a tag that was with the collection. I just used some baker's twine and frayed it out, and I attached a little angel that I had in my stash. And then I have another folder, much like the first one, pretty much. I cut out a snowflake with a die that I had, and I think 3 or 4 times, and I just stacked them all on top of each other to give it some dimension. And then it opens like this. More room for photos. We all have plenty of photos. Then this is just a double Photomat, plain on the back. And this is another Photomat using the design paper, and this is from the My Colors cardstock collection that she has. Those colors are beautiful, and it is blank on the back. I buy a lot of the My Colors for embellishments, and just kind of stretch your collection out and give it more color. So I love all the things that she's selling. She's just getting, every time you think she can't top a collection, then she up and tops it again. So I love everything she sends. So on the right side of January, I have a pocket, and all the pages are the same. And these are 3 of the little cut-aparts, the tickets in this little piece here. Each page has a calendar that opens up. This one I used one of the cut-aparts in a Photomat and another border strip. Then in the pocket I have another Photomat. Actually goes like this, and it's blank on the back. Then we have another one like what was in the front pocket. Only this one's on craft where the other one was on black. And then in each pocket I have a little notebook, and they kind of slide around a little bit because they're just held with the ribbon. But you can see there's tons of room here, and you can add more. I just have 7 sheets in there. But I thought it would be really neat to document places that you go, who you were with, what you did, and special memories that you want to remember, things you want to remember. So I have one of those in each of the pockets. This just closes down, and these little guys hold it shut. Just like that.
We're going to the dollar store.
Okay. Then we get to February, and there's another piece of acetate in here, and I forgot to put that on my cut list. But it's not very big. You can get this piece of acetate and this one out of one sheet and still have lots left over. This makes a double pocket, and I used some of the graphic 45 tags that came in the collection, or in the kit. There's another one. Let me put that behind so it gives some variation. Then we have a double Photomat, and this is on the wine-colored Artisan. I think that's the only piece of wine I used. And then we have another little tag. And I've got tons of ribbon in my stash, and I save everything that Tammy sends me if I don't use all of it. I save all the, well, I can't get a hold of the acetate. I wanted to put this back up under there. I'll fool with it later. Okay, on the right side of February, again, we have the little cut-aparts and the tickets. There's your February calendar. Opens out, and it has a tuck spot here at the top with a large Photomat. And then in the pocket, we have, this one says, Believe in love and everything it touches. Oh, that's pretty. I hadn't read that before. Here's another Photomat, and another one of the little pockets, and I had this die in my stash that says For You, and I added 3 little gems there. So then you've got more photo space. So it's that and that, and then we have another tag, and we have the notepad for February. Oh, another ticket in there, and I forgot to embellish that one. I'll have to do that. I didn't realize it was down in there. So these all go back in the pocket. This was so much fun to create. I tell you, her papers are just beautiful. Then we have March. And March does have a magnet in it, but I put this up under there, and my magnet doesn't catch so good with that under there, but it doesn't work so good under here either. It's kind of bulky because of the button, but I love it. I wanted to use it in there. So in this pocket, this is a waterfall. I have 2 of the tags in the front pocket, one of her die cut pieces, and then we just have 3 photo spots. Oh, I gotta cover that magnet. We have a Photomat here, and that one, and then this is a belly band, and we have a Photomat under there. This one's on the green Artisan. So if you don't put that under there, the magnet holds fine. But I love this little thing, and it just, I've got had this gold twine in my stash, and I just wound it around. And it's just another one of the folders like the others, but I thought it was so pretty. And this is the Sun Glow color for the my colors. I'll wrap it this way this time. I'll put it somewhere because it's too pretty to leave out. And there's the 3 pieces that hold March closed. And we have 2 Photomats in the top. I hope you can see all this. Let me check my screen. I hope. And then we have our little notepad again. And this Photomat is a little booklet. Has plenty of spaces for photos in it. Let me see if it'll work under here. Maybe if I turn it sideways. It's just the button makes it so bulky. I'm not going to leave it out because I like it too well. It's going to make it a little bulky, but at least the magnet on the other side will close this way. I frequently make so many embellishments that I have too many. I never know when to stop. Here's April. It's all in pinks and greens. And I used eyelets and made several holes here and just ran my ribbon through it so it kind of had a quilted look, and then added a little bow. And then on this little folder, it just opens out for photos and journaling. And the Photomat here. There's so many places in here for photos. Another Photomat with one of the tags attached. And there's a second one. This one says New Beginnings. That'd be pretty in a baby book, wouldn't it? So these all go up under here. And then we have our calendar on the right hand side. And we have this insert. I forgot how to open. It's a trifold, so it has plenty of room for photos in it. It's been a while since I made it, almost forgot how to open. And then your notepad, of course. Large Photomat, and you can tuck something under there. It's loose. So that closes. And just, I think this goes in May. Somehow it fell out. So here's May. We have a side pocket here, and I've just put 2 tags in it, but it will also hold your small graphic 45. I think I might have some out here. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the ATC size cards. It'll also hold those. I got too much glue on that one, but they do fit in there. But I just used the tags because I like the color of them. I thought they're so pretty. So there's that. And then I used 2 more of the graphic 45 tags that came with the collection. And this is the Summer White. And then a large Photomat. And then I have these to hold it closed. I had to attach a tag here because when I was putting this together, I guess some glue oozed out from here and I didn't realize it, and that stuck. And it tore my paper, so I had to put something there. I didn't know what else to do with it. I couldn't lose it. So you open it up and you have a little flag that's loose here so you can tuck something under it. And then we have this Photomat. Like, this is a pocket, actually. Find something to put in there. This is a pocket where you can put Photomats. And it's plain on the back. This one says, "All that I am, I owe to my mother." Isn't that pretty? And there's this one. And then your little notepad. Those little notepads are super easy to make. And these just hold it down. And then we have June. That's the last one for this month. We have 2 more of the graphic 45 tags with one of the cut apart tags. And this paper pretty. I love this page. This is called Lattice, and it's a thing we used to do. I've done it years ago with on cards, and I just thought it would be so pretty on this rose paper. So I decided to put that on my pocket. And here's this little tag. Got 3 more little pieces holding that flap down. I hope you're seeing all this. This lifts up, of course, just like all the others. And then we have 3 inserts in here, plus your notepad for June. This is a Photomat. Opens out like this, just like the others. Plenty of room to document and add photos. This is the cut apart, and it says the time of perfect young summer. It's pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And 1 more tag. So this is volume 1 of our year using the paper collection, Remember the Time. This is just beautiful. Most of you may have already seen the collection and ordered the Craftology box. If not, you can go to Country Craft Creations and see if it's still available. Most times they sell out pretty quick, so I'm not sure if it's still available or not. But it is absolutely gorgeous, and you will love it. And this is such a neat thing for your kids to be able to look back on and remember all the photos and the memories that you jot down in the little notepads. It'll just be an awesome keepsake. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you decide to follow my tutorial. I'd love to see what you all create. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you back on Volume 2. Hey everyone, Bobby here, and I am working on the new Craftology project using Tamara's new paper. Is it called Remember When or Remember the Time, I think. Let me see. Remember the Time. And this is going to be 6 months in this kit, and then the October kit will have July through December. So this one is January through June. The papers are absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure you've probably already seen them. But what I have done so far, and I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible and still give you all the necessary information. I got dust everywhere. I have covered the chipboard that came with the kit. It was 7 wide by 9, and she sent 3 inches for the spine, and I've created my hinge, and all of these measurements will be on the cut list for you in the description box. And I had just used a piece of the I think it's called Summer White. It's one of her new papers, Artisan Cardstock, and I just used it for the spine because excuse me, it is the color I had that closely relates to the paper collection. And you can see by the calendars, it's really super close. So I will show you what my plan is, and then I'll add the design papers off screen, and I'll come back and explain everything to you. But these are the pocket pages, and each one of them will slip over the hinge, well, like that. And there will be 5 pages. And page 1, let me put this up here so I can explain to you. Page 1 will incorporate, well, can't even see what I'm doing here. The cover and the front of page 1 will be January. Then the back of page 1 and the front of page 2 will be February, and so on till we get to the back. And the front of page 5, or the back of page 5, and the back cover will be June. So that's how it's going to work. So I've got a bunch of cut aparts here I got to lay aside. And I've got 4 of the pockets put together. And I just wanted to save one to the side in case there's somebody wanting to make this project that hasn't made an album before. And you will take your smaller of the 2 pieces on your cut list, and on the longer one, which is 9.5, you're going to score at 1/2 and 1/2, so that when you sandwich these together, and I like to use the art glitter glue, when you apply your glue to this folded edge and this folded edge, that will make your pocket that will slip right over these hinges. Okay, and then you will find in your cut list that you have 5, I think 6 of these flaps, and there will be a flap at the top of each page. Let me find one that I made. This one's closed. Okay, there will be a flap at the top of each page which will hold the calendars like this. And I haven't cut any of my design papers yet. And then there will be a pocket at the bottom, and I'm going to incorporate some of the cut aparts so that we have a tuck spot to hold this down. That way you will have room inside each of the pockets to put some memorabilia or photos or whatever you might want to put, and then we'll have our side pocket here for more photos. So that is my game plan. I want to put a few of these together and then come back and that way I can better explain to you exactly how it's going to go. But you will find each of these pieces on your cut list. Alright, I'll be back. Oh, and I am inking all the lighter pages with the archival coffee ink, and that is from Country Craft Creations as well. Alright, I'll be back shortly. Okay, when you're adding these flaps to your pocket, make sure that you've got your closed end up at the top, and if you'll lay that in your scoreboard, the center is 3.5, and if you'll mark center, and remember this has got a 1/4 inch gusset, so you only want glue on this 1/2 inch piece, and if you'll mark center and match that up with 3.5 and just push it right up to the top of your scoreboard, you'll have it lined up perfectly every time. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. Don't need to overkill it, which I do sometimes. You see my pencil mark? You might not be able to see it, but I've got a little tiny pencil mark there, and I'm just going to put it right up under the 3.5 because that's the center of the page. And see, it's perfect every time. And then what we will do, let me find January, we will add the calendar to each one of these flaps. And I'm going to ink each of them, as, like I said, with the archival coffee. And then I will cut out some design paper, and I'll be back and show you what we're going to do from there. Okay, on the inside cover, I have used the borders to make banners, and what I'm going to do, and I cut them on an angle so that they were more staggered, and I backed them on black cardstock, and then I just splattered them with white acrylic paint, and I have cut some little black strips because all of my pop dots, or whatever you call them, tape, dimensional tape, is too deep, plus it's white. And I have been using the black cardstock, so I'm just going to attach a strip to the back, just one strip to this one, and I'm going to glue down the strip. I just want just a little bit of elevation on this first one, and I'm going to put it up here at an angle with the black cardstock, just like that. And then this one is going to have 2 on it because it is going to overlap the red one a little bit. So I'm going to stack 2, and I'm going to put it to this side so that when it overlaps, it still lays flat and not, you know, pressed out of shape. So I can put glue here and put glue here. And it is going to be more straight. I just want a little bit of an opening between the 2 of them. Then on this one, we're also going to have 2. And I just fishtailed the ends of these so that they look like little banners. Stack these up. Now I only need glue on these little pieces here. And this is also going to be at a little bit of an angle, like that. And then I have one of her circles. I haven't inked this. And you might wonder why I'm using coffee brown when I'm using black cardstock. Because these colors are so light, I felt like black was a little too heavy for it. And I just, on the design paper, I just wanted enough color to get rid of that white edge. So I decided to go with the brown. had this little die in my stash that fit these ovals perfectly. Kind of looks like a little sunburst. And there's a piece that didn't pop out. Let's see if I can poke it out with my straight pin. There it went. Oops. And then I have some little circles. I'm going to stack up 2 little 1-inch black circles behind this piece just to give it a little elevation. Okay, and a little glue on there, and my glue bottle's oozing out again. It does that all the time, and I can't figure out why. And I'm going to place that right in the middle there. Just like that. Let me clean off my glue bottle. It wants to ooze out the top. I think it's our humidity. It's very humid here right now. And I find that our humidity makes my paper curl somewhat, but I'll put it in a container with some of those silica gel packages. I buy those from Walmart, and it'll flatten right out and be just perfect, so I'm not worried about that at this point because I know it'll straighten itself out. Now at the bottom of this page, I want a pocket, but I don't want it just like all the other pockets. I want it to be different. So I cut 2. This was actually a long pocket that was going to stretch across because I originally was going to put the calendar over here, and I decided since all the rest of them are on the right side, January should be on the right side too. So I cut the big pocket in half, and then I angled it. So it ended up being, I think, 3 1/2. 1, 2, 3 1/2. 3, about 3 1/8. And then I measured over 1 inch and up 1 inch and made little tick marks, and I just cut it off. So what I'm going to do is attach these, and I've scored them. And now you don't have to ink this because the Artisan Cardstock doesn't have a white core, so you can go ahead and put it down. So I am going to attach these even with the bottom corner and the side, just like that. I gotta erase my pencil lines. I forgot those were on there. And we're gonna add glue to this one. See how it runs over? It's just terrible. I don't know how much glue I lose because of that. And this one is going to go over to this side. Let me burnish these real good. Uh-oh. Ah! Didn't mean to get that in there. I put it down on top of my Mylar sheet. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Now, it's not going to show anyway because it's going to go inside the pocket. It's going to slide inside here and inside here. And I may have to trim it off just a hair. Yeah, it's going to buckle a little bit. Let me trim like an 1/8 of an inch off of it. And let's see, that'll be better. Yeah, that's much better. It's going to slide down in here. I'm going include that fold at the bottom. There. There it goes. Now it will stay in there perfectly. Now, to make sure that it doesn't move, I have this little piece that is going to sit and be a little bridge. So, let me put just, oh gosh darn it, this glue bottle. I'll get it wiped off. That makes me so mad. I don't know why it does that. It spews everywhere. Now I've got to get it past that bottom piece again. Where's that? Here it is. Okay. I'll tell you what works is put a little bit of Windex on a paper towel and just wipe over it lightly, and every fingerprint and smear will come off. Now this is, I made a little tab on the back. Gosh, this is terrible the way it's leaking. That's the worst it's ever been. This is just a piece of trim left, one of the border strips that I used on the other side, and I'm just going to attach it right here, just like a little bridge so nothing falls out. And then I have my little girls. Whoops. Put a little glue on my finger. Oops, I don't want it over the edge. I'll attach that down. Now my little bridge is in place. You know, some days aren't as bad as others, but some days it just oozes to beat the band. I don't know why that is. But I'll deal with it. It is what it is. So we're going to glue these little corner pieces, and this is just the back side of this snowflake paper. It's got the little girls on it. And there will be a really cute insert for this pocket, but I'll get to it later. So we're going to attach this here, like that. And this one. Takes care of that page. Now this will be the front side of page 1, which will be January. So when you look at your cutting guide, it's going to say January left and right. Then you'll have February left and right. Because when I design the back side of this page, this will be February, which I haven't designed yet. So I have to list it that way so that you understand what I'm talking about. That's the only way I know to do it. So anyway, I have gone through and attached all my calendars to each one of the pages. There's January, here's February, March, April, May, and then June is attached to the inside of the back cover. So for January, I am going to attach the back side of another one of these little girl sheets. I could have used that over there, but I felt like it was too much of the same thing. This has all the right colors in it, so that's what I'm going to use. And I haven't inked it yet. I'm going to take this sweatshirt off. It's getting too hot in here. If I turn on my window air conditioner, it makes too much noise, and you guys will be yelling at me, what's that background noise? I'm going to put the pen back in the glue bottle so it quit getting soupy on me. When I have the air conditioner on, I get cold and I have to put on a sweatshirt jacket. Then I turn it off to do the video, and I get too hot. Some people you just can't please. Okay, so let me ink this up. It puts just enough color on the edge so that you can tell it has been inked, but it doesn't. I just felt like the black would be too much. Let me get some glue on this and stick my pen back in it so it don't quit gooping up on me. Cooperate. There we go. Make sure I don't have glue all over my fingers. Okay. Put something right behind it so I can see my edges. Make sure where I'm going here. This is going to go on here and just leave us a little black border. Completely straight. Let me move it up just a hair. There we go. Take a smidge off of that. That's what's the matter. Let me take just a smidge off of this. I knew it didn't look right. Couldn't figure out why. Let's see if that's enough. Let's see what we got. No, that's not. I'll straighten it by hand because I know that's not right. I'm running the risk of tearing it on the cutter because I already had glue on it. Much better. And let me ink this bottom edge again. Real quick like. Okay. And then I'm going to have to take a break and turn the air back on because it is getting too hot in here. That's Texas for you. But I can't really have it on when I'm recording because it's obnoxious. And it's not super loud, but this camera is so sensitive it picks up every little bitty sound. I'm sure you can hear my granddaughter's dog barking right now. She's all the way in the back of the house, but if she hears any noise and she'll let us know. Okay, there's that. Maybe down a little bit towards the bottom. Okay, now I like it better. Okay, put my pen back in to the Uzi machine. Okay. Oops, dropped my pocket. That's for another page. Okay, let me burnish this down. Now I'm going to add these in a minute. I want these two little bands to add so that I can put photomats behind them. But I want to measure once I get my pocket on. I want to make sure they're centered in the pocket. So this is your pocket. And it is going to go up just a hair from the bottom and over from the sides. And then when this flaps down, it will actually tuck under these little, I haven't backed these in black cardstock yet. I'll show you. Let me glue it down and I'll show you so you understand. It's going to go make sure I've got it even, because I am not the best at getting pockets straight. Just over a quarter. That one is good. Wonders never cease. So I'm going to burnish this down, and I'm going to let it set up, make sure my glue's set real good. Now this will flap down, and I'll back these on cardstock, and then these little die cuts will hold your pocket, but they do need the black cardstock to make them strong enough to hold it. But then we'll have room back here for photomats. And I want to put a little notebook in it somewhere so that I want one in each month so that you can document like a little journal. So this will stand up straight like that. And I had these little notebooks I did for another project, but you can see they're just, this is a store-bought notebook, but they're too thick. I mean, they'll go in the pocket, but then they're going to hold this up too high, and I don't like that, so I'll make my own. But we'll do that in future tutorial as we go through this. But there's the front side of page 1. Now all I have to do is to add these two little pieces in here. Oops. I put that notebook in there and pulled on it. So I just want these to be about a ½ inch inside this, and then you can put photomats behind it. Maybe. I'm not sure if I'm going to put them on there or not. I'm thinking about it, but for right now I'm leaving them off because I have not decided. So there's the front side of January, and that looked pretty together. So I will do these, and then we will flip it over, and we'll start with February, which will be right here. That will be February. Alright, I'll be back shortly. Gotta get me some air on here. Okay, I am working on the back side or the left side of June, and I have cut a piece of the Summer Ivory Artisan Cardstock, the height of my green design paper, and I've cut it, I think, 2.5 wide, and it's the full length. That is going to go down on the base, and then I have a piece of the design paper, the one with the roses on one side and the green, this same green pattern on the opposite. I have inked it up, and I think I cut it at 2 1/4. Yes, 2 1/4, and I've scored it down the middle at 1 1/8. Now, I'm making a lattice. So I cut myself a template because I started making my markings on here, and I can barely see them, and I know you won't see them at all. So I got a piece of typing paper, just regular computer printer paper, cut it the same dimensions, 2.5 by the full length. And what I did was I laid the folded edge up, and I started with this end, marked a 1/2 inch every 1/2 inch. I did it on my cutter, but it's 1/2 inch all the way down the full length. Then, oh, I forgot to tell you, this mark is 3/8 of an inch from the cut edge, and I drew a straight line all the way down, so make sure I cut the same depth on every one. Then I have started at a 1/2 inch, and I marked every 1/2 inch with a tick mark. Then in between that, on the 3/4, 1 1/4, and just follow your grid or these lines here, and you can use a ruler to line it up like this to get to your 1/4 inch, and just make a tick mark up against this 3/8 inch line. Now, oh, stuff laying off to the side keeps sticking to me. So I'm going to lay the fold edge against the fold edge, and I'm going to use a little piece of that purple tape so it doesn't slide on me. Where'd my scissors go? Yeah, there they are. Let me grab my scissors. And I want to tape this down so it doesn't slide. I'm going to cut a piece of purple tape. And I'm going to attach it to the top. Little piece to the bottom. And then a small piece. I'm going to put it in between score marks so I don't cover them up. I just want to make sure it doesn't slide on me. Now where you've got your 1/2 inch mark, you're going to start cutting at an angle. But you're going to skip this first 1/4 mark, and you're going to go from here down to the second. And you're just going to line up your scissors and cut right to that mark. And you're going to go to the second one and repeat it all the way down. I'm having a hard time for the shadows seeing my mark. And you don't want to cut past that 3/8 inch. Keep it lined up as best you can. It'll want to shift on you. There's that one. Takes a little bit of time, but it's so pretty when it's done. We'll get rid of this one. You can see it's trying to slide a little bit. It'll just do that, but keep it as straight as you can for the most part. And just keep working all the way down to the end. That'll be your last one. Okay. Let me take this off. And we're going to open it out. And you can use whichever side you want. You might like it this way better. You just lift each one out and fold it down, but you want to start from the bottom. You can do it that way, or you can do it this way. I'm going to do mine this way because I have the green predominant on the bottom. So get it as straight as you can, like that, and then get your next one and fold it down. May not have cut as far enough in on that one, let me see. Sliding a bit. I'm going to check each one of them. That one looks good. If they look like they're not cut in far enough. See, that one is. Just fold them down. And bring it down. See, that one's not cut far enough, I can tell, because it's not laying right. That one's not cut down enough because my paper was sliding on me. I probably should have taped it on the cut edge instead of the folded edge, because it was pulling away from the 3/8 inside. Yeah, see, there's a lot of them not cut close enough. It's not even cut through at the end. Oops. I think I just screwed it up for good. I did. Dang it. I'll have to cut another piece now. Here's that one. Here's that one. That one. Wish I hadn't cut that. I just really screwed that up. See if I can save it. Where's that little piece? I don't know where it went. Anyway, I'll have to cut. There it is. I'll have to cut another one. I cut it completely out. I'm going to ding dong. But anyway, you can see that's how it goes. Isn't that pretty? And then that'll lay on here. And we'll glue it down just on 3 sides. Man, that makes me mad I did that. Now I'm going to do it all over. Well, you get the idea. I'll make another one and I'll be back. Okay, I cut another one. That was my stupidity on that first one. But you can see, and I glued it down on 3 sides, so that leaves this whole pocket open for an insert. Now I felt like once I had it glued down, the lattice didn't show up that well, and I hadn't inked it, so I took just a piece of typing paper and laid up against each one and just lightly edged it with the coffee ink, so it does show up a lot better. So that is the left side of June. Now for May, oh, that goes this way. Yeah. Okay, here's May. And here's what I have. This is a scrap piece, and this again is the winter, I think it's called winter linen. It started out at 5.5 by 7 1/4, and I just scored it in half, and then I measured up, did I do a 1/2 inch? 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, and then I cut from the score line down to that 3/4 inch tick mark. Now, and I'm just trying to use up some of these scraps. There's not a lot of variation in designs with this collection, so but it can be done easily. It's not an issue. And I cut a piece to fit on the back from what I think is the signature page. Let me see, is it too long? It's just a little bit too long. Let me trim off the bottom just a hair. Just a itty bitty bit. And I want to ink it with the coffee stain, or ink. I don't know why I call it stain, but I do sometimes. Because I'm a goofball, that's why. And this is just going to make a little pocket. And I'm going to add some glue to the back of this. I had a package of the ATC size cards in this same ivory color, and I thought I would try to use them here if possible. So that was my thinking on this piece. So we're going to put this down inside of that little area. Just leave a small cream colored border. It doesn't have to go all the way to your fold because it isn't going to show anyway. So now, let's reinforce this. And I just want a little tad of glue there, and a little bit there so nothing falls through. Now we're going to glue that down. And let me erase that pencil mark just in case we don't want it showing up. Okay, there's that. Now the next piece is the pink like the background, and I've cut it just shy. I'm going to take it all the way to the top. And what I do to cut these before I glue that down, I lay it up underneath and draw my angle. And then I cut just inside my pencil line. So let me ink this. And then if you have any trim work to do after the fact, do it with this straight edge or the bottom. But don't cut your angle. Once you get your angle right, don't mess with it. So let's, I want this 7 to show up. Okay. Let's glue this down. It's just another way to use up your scraps, your little pieces. So I'm going to put that down. All the way to the top. Just like that. Now I cut this so that it hits above that border here because I like that showing. We've got a little nub here that I don't need. Okay, then we have another curved piece. And once I cut this off, then I took that scrap and made a couple more pockets with it. So, let's ink this one. And this actually measures it's this piece is all it is. And I scored it at a little over 3, but what I did was I laid it on here like this and then just scored it even with that edge. Then I brought this piece back over and I'm just going to wrap it behind like that. That'll keep anything from falling out. So does that make sense to you? It's this piece, oops, this piece. Once I cut this off from the 7 1/4 by, I think I said 5 1/2. Anyway, that is just that cut off piece. You lay it down on here, fold it back to the right, and then wrap it. That's all it is, just using up your scraps. So we can glue this down. We'll put this in here. Bring this over the front. I don't normally ink the cardstock, the white and the cream and all of that, because I don't know, I just feel like it looks dirty if I ink it, so I don't. But you can if you want to. Okay, and this is going to go down here. Actually, let's just cut it off. We don't need the extra thickness. Okay. And then we're just going to put a little glue here, here, and here. Oops. I guess I better put some glue here too, hadn't I? And let's get it along this bottom here. Get it straight. There we go. So now you have 3 pockets that are going to sit on here like this, and they will hold the ATC cards. Like that. And one more. And if you just glue it on this 3 sides, then you still have a pocket for photomats. Cool, huh? I like this. I think it turned out really cute. So let me pull these out so I can get a good burnish on it, and we'll put this down. So just a top and bottom, and on this right hand side. And it's going to go right here. Oh, it's not over to the right all the way. Let me lift it up. There we go, that's better. Now, since this has got so many thicknesses to it, I think I'm going to put a few pins on it. I want to make sure it doesn't walk away. And I'm going to lay it aside. I've got all my cut pieces inside April, so I can keep them together. And they're falling out. What I should do, what I meant to do in the first place, but when I put the pockets on, they were still wet, and I didn't want to pull on the pockets on. Now they'll stay in place. So that is May. Now, whoops. Oops, there's another one of those. Let me put these March down in the pocket so we can work on the April. There we go. Now they won't fall out so much. Every time I pick them up, they want to fall out. Okay, so, oops. Goodness. It's a landslide. Okay, there's April. I have not decided yet, so let me see what I want to do with this, and I'll be right back. Okay, for April, what I have done is I've cut a piece of black cardstock 2.5 wide and the height of the page, and I've attached a piece of the green print, and I am going to punch holes so that I can thread ribbon through it. I made a miss mark here, but I think my hole punch and eyelet will cover it, hopefully. But I have measured in 3/4 of an inch from the outside edge, and then every 1.1/8 so that I have 3, so that it will come up here, it'll go down, come up here, and go down here, and then I can bury it underneath. So, that's what I'm going to do. Cross your fingers and hope it works out perfectly.
Keep going.
Okay, have a good day.
You too.
I'll see you this evening. Daughter's leaving for work. Okay, so I gotta move this in farther. Hope it'll go in that far. Oh, not quite, almost. Well, I'm gonna punch it anyway. It's just a hair off the mark, but I think the eyelet will cover it. Let's hope it does. That's my game plan anyway. Here's that one. It's not wanting to punch real good for some reason. I don't know why that is. Here, that one did good. And the last one. Okay. Get these little pieces out of here. The eyelets will cover any of that. Okay, so now we're going to set our eyelets. And it goes this way. Uh-oh. Trying to pop out on me. There we go. There's one. Yeah, that worked fine. Yeah, it's covering my marks. Oh, I think it locked on me. Okay. If you guys have any trouble using your Eyelet Setter, there's a really good instruction tutorial by a lady called Lollapalooza, and I'll try to remember to put a link to her channel in my description box. I have put it down for you before, and I don't know if you were able to see that or not, but I'll put it in there again. Hopefully I don't forget. If it's not there, remind me. I forget these things sometimes. I get busy and then get down to the end and forget I said I'd do something. But never hesitate to send me a message and say, hey, where's that link? Because I don't mind at all. And now my only dilemma is, do I want to use white seam binding or pink in this? And I don't know. And these are We Are Memory Keeper eyelets. Let me put this up. I don't need that anymore. This stuff's sticking to me. I get too much stuff out on this workspace, and there ain't any room for me. Get rid of all these little fragments here. Okay, so I save all my seam binding, and I sort it out by colors. Now I have this brighter pink. I've got a real bright one, but I think it's too bright, and I've got this real pale one. It's almost white. I think it's a little too pale. Or I could use white. Let's see what we think. See what I like the best. So if you feed it through, whoops, try it both ways. I can get a hold of it. I'm thinking probably the pink is going to show up the best because the background paper is also pink, but it has white daisies on it, so it's kind of a toss-up. So there's that one. It's going to go on here. And then we have this one. Get a hold of it. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to like the pink best. Yep, I like the pink best. Okay, away with the white. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to feed that through, and I am going to tie a bow here in the center, and then I'll glue it on those three sides and attach it down, and then we'll be ready for March. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, for April, let me share with you what I have done. I'm trying to get through these pages so I can get them in the book and we can start embellishing them and then work on the cover. I went ahead and ran the ribbon through, and then I showed you the eyelets. I ran the ribbon back and forth all the way across, and then I went back again and picked up the ones that were blank. And then I added a piece of packing tape on the back so that when you put something through a Photomat or whatever, it won't get caught on all of this. So I'm just going to add glue to these three sides and stick her down. And then we'll have another pocket ready for embellishments or Photomats or journaling spots or whatever. I want there to be plenty of places to put memorabilia like photos and journaling without covering up all the paper because it's so pretty. So there's that pocket. Let's burnish it down. Push it over just a hair. There we go. And this side too, just a hair. I just tied the bows separately and I just attached it with some art glitter glue. So that takes care of that one. And then I have started putting March together. In your cut-off pieces of scraps, you have, let me re-burnish this one, it looks a little crooked. You have 3 pieces, or 4 pieces, that are 5 by 8.5. And I wanted to use up what's left in the scraps. So I took 3 of them and I scored it 2 inches to make a pocket, and then I scored it a 1/2 inch to make a place to attach it down. And I just put it down like a waterfall, but it's going to have a pocket in it. So I put a magnet on the back of this one, and there's all 3 of them. I'm going to glue or tape or something on it. There's the 3, and then in order to have a place to tuck my magnet, I put this journaling spot here. And remember, I had these cut out and I thought I might use them on June, and I changed my mind and didn't. Well, I put these down so that I would have a little belly band, and I attached this piece to the top of it, and you can still put stuff up under it. So the magnet is in here, right here, and then on page 1, and that takes care of those. Once I glue this down, then everything will lay flat. So that's May. So all we have left is February. And let me see, I haven't cut anything out for February yet. I'm trying to decide what I want to do. This is February. It's all reds and purples. Let me get my papers out here. Here's what I have left from February. What's on the back of it? The purple envelopes. That's all I've got. Is this and the purple envelopes, I guess. Let me double check. I mean, I have a whole other sheet, but I hate to cut into it. And besides, it's red. And I don't want any red. Well, let me give this some thought and I'll be right back because I'm not sure what I want to do. Okay guys, I am getting ready, excuse me, to work on the January inserts and embellishments, but before I do that, I want to show you what I did with April. Is it? Oh, wait a minute, it's not April, it's February, I think. I'm sitting over here hunting for it, and it's on the back side of January. And move all of this off of January, so I need to go ahead and glue it down, but I wanted to show you guys. This is the left side of February. And I actually used 2 pieces of the black cardstock. And I used a hexagon shaped punch. And let me show you what I did. This is a real old one. I don't even know who it's made by. I don't think it says. Oh yes it does. Fiskars. It's a hexagon punch. And I just took, and this is all made with scraps. It is 8 1/4 by 2 1/2, and on this top piece I just put the punch in to where I wanted it and punched it. Then I punched it on this side, and I think I measured 5/8 of an inch from the edge, and I punched, then I put it in my paper trimmer and I just sliced from side to side. Then I added a piece of acetate here, and then I just added a scrap piece that is 2 inches by 8 1/4, and I just added my paper to it and made a little pocket. So when I put this on here, I'm just going to glue these 3 edges, and then I'll have a pocket here and a pocket under the mylar, or the acetate, whatever you want to call it. I'll make sure I got my thing straight up, and I'm going to glue this down. Then we'll be ready for embellishments, because all our pages will be matted. This was the last one. So let me put this pin back, because this stupid thing is still oozing. It's almost it's almost empty, but it still wants to. There we go. Get it off my finger. So I'm just going to match it up with the edge here, just a hair off of the edge, because that's where it's going to connect to your hinge. Keep a little of the bulk off the hinge. So I'm just going to press that down and burnish it real good. And that is the back side of January, which will be the left hand side of February. So now I can turn it over and we can work on embellishments. I'll burnish it down from the top real quick. Alright, what I have for the underside of this flap, I wanted to use this one, and I had no more red. Now I'm trying to save, I have 1 sheet of each of the, except for May, I only have 1 sheet period. But I tried to keep 1 sheet of the embellishments or the cut-aparts, plus one other sheet from each month because there's a second project I want to do, so I'm trying to save those. But I did have to cut into the January to get this little red strip because I didn't have any red left, and I just felt like I needed to pull a little bit more red into it. So I'm going to put this here, and I might need to trim it off just a hair, maybe not. No, it's going to be okay. Then I'm going to attach this to this little section, and then put a Photomat down here, and that's going to be the inside of that flap. So, and let me see, did I ink that? No, I haven't inked it. Let me ink that real quick. It's got a little bit of a black border on it, but I just want to get rid of that white core. Did I press record? Oh gosh, I don't know if I was recording, guys. Oh, mercy. Alright, let me start over because I think maybe I forgot to push the record. I am doing the January embellishments. I have inked this with the coffee. Is it called coffee, I think? Yes, coffee archival ink. I did get that from Tammy quite a while back. I really like that color. Sometimes the vintage photo tends to have a little bit of an orange cast to it, and I use vintage photo a lot. But for this collection, I didn't want that orangey because there's a lot of red. So I'm going to mount this on a piece of that, I think it's called Summer White Artisan Cardstock. And I'm going to attach this at the top of that flap. I thought I was recording a while ago, and now I'm not sure if I was or not. And I had shown you the piece that I did on the back side of this. And I hope it's recorded. There is that. This is a Photomat, which is going to fill in the lower portion of the flap. Just going to line it up under that one. Leave a little. And then the red strip, I had to go into, I was saying before, when I thought I was recording, there is, let me see, two sheets of each of the design papers in this collection instead of 3. So I tried to save one of each of them for a second project, and I did have to cut into it to get this little red strip because I just felt like I needed some more red. So I am minus that for my second project, but hopefully I won't need it. But I didn't have the right color of red in anything in my stash to go with this. So I did cut this border strip out of it. And I'm going to put that right up here, right along the edge. Let me burnish that real good. Make sure it's all going to stay in place. So that will take care of the underside of that flap. Now, where is that other little piece? Did I leave it under here? I don't know. I've got a piece that I was thinking about putting down here. I don't know if I will or not. Anyway, the first thing I have is one of the punches, or one of the tags, and I'm just going to mount that on some of these Summer White. This oozy blue bottle's driving me crazy. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's got to do with our humidity or what it is. And I will punch a hole in that and set an eyelet. And this one I am going to mount on black, and I'm trying to mix up the black, the craft, and the cream color. so it doesn't get too monotonous with just one thing. And I did find that I had some, it's called Spearmint from the My Colors collection. Works perfectly with the teal in this. There's that. And that can go in this pocket. Then I have this Photomat. And I need to ink this one. And I do have some little folders we're going to make real quick. I want to put the little strips at the top and the bottom first. And this is going to ooze. It's got too much. Where's my wet baby wipe? And I'm just going to put a teal strip at the top and the bottom. Just like that. I'm getting it all over me the way it oozes. I keep thinking maybe it's the humidity here in Texas, but I don't know if anybody else in Texas has that same issue, but boy, I sure do. And this glue bottle is almost empty, but it just keeps oozing. We'll wipe it off on there and see if I can get rid of some of it. And this is just a scrap. All of these are made from scraps, and I'll show you what I got left. You won't believe what little piddly bit I've got left from one sheet of each, but I'm trying to use everything that I can. And I'm just going to put this down here. And then we can have a photo on the back side. Isn't that pretty? That spearmint just looks really nice with this paper collection. And I'm just going to leave the back of it blank for a photo. Put this one in here. Now, here's another one on the same basic principle. And I haven't inked it. I'll lay it on the side because you just saw me do that one. So, actually, let's do it. Let's just do it and have it done with. Now, I didn't ink the spearmint because it's so tiny that I was afraid it would kind of muddy it up. But I am going to ink the craft card. Just lightly. I don't want a lot of color, but just a little definition. Okay, let's see, which way does it go? Like, no, it goes this way. Gotta make sure what I'm doing here. Okay, here we go, Mr. Oozy Bottle. Make sure I don't have it all over my fingers. Ah. It's sticking to me. Don't want it all the way to the edge. Might have to trim that off a little bit. It looks like it's a little bit long. We shall see. I hope I'm in frame here, guys. Okay, now this goes in the middle. This stupid thing. I got that turquoise strip too high. I'm going to take it off. Yep, I'll cut another one. I'll do another one in a second. It's already stuck, but I don't like it that high. Let me cut another little 1/4 inch strip. got any more long enough. Got one right here, but I think it's too short. Yeah, that's too short. Let me cut another one real quick. Okay. Look at. And a pencil. Where's a pencil? There. Just right there. And I'll trim it off. Okay, a little bit more glue. It's not that big of a deal. But you know, you want it to be right if you're gonna. At least I do. It bugs me to have things out of proportion. So there's that. Now I'll just trim a little bit off the top. You can see it very good. Make sure that it cuts straight. Yeah, that makes me happier. And let me ink the top. Since I cut it, that's better. Okay, let's lay that one over here to the left. Next we have a little folder. And what I have done is just take a scrap. Let me lay this over here. And I'll give you the measurements. These are not going to be on your cut list. So you'll have to watch the video if you want to duplicate what I've done. This one is 6 3/8 by 4 7/8. And I have scored it at 1 1/2 and just folded it up. And I've got a piece of scrap. I love the one with the little girl with the bonnet on. I think she's so cute. And I'm just going to glue the, oh Lord, look at this. It's dripping everywhere. So wasteful, but I don't know what to do about it. And this is going to go at the top. Add a little glue to this pouch here, and then you can just stick Photomats or your tags or whatever in there. So let's burnish that down, and then I'm going to add, I do want to ink this time. I didn't before because it was so tiny. I figured the whole thing would end up turning brown. Okay, we're going to put this on here. Goes on there, and then these are scraps I had left from from one of the other pages. I think it was from, on the inside cover I had made 3 banners for the top left corner, and I had these left, so I just fishtailed them I need to ink the fishtail. And I'm going to put these down here. And I'm going to leave them a little bit loose. I don't want them to hang off the bottom. And this one, and I'm going to angle it up above a little bit. And then I'm going to attach the little girl on this circle. That's another one of the cutouts. And this little die is something I had in my stash, and it fit these circles perfectly. And you may have something like that in your stash as well. I've got one little piece that didn't pop out right there. This is the neatest pokey tool. I love it. Put the little protective cap back on it so I don't pierce myself. And I got some little, yes, I got a couple of black circles. I want to pop this up a little bit, but I don't like to use the white foam dots when my piece is black. It kind of sticks out like a neon sign. But maybe that's just me, I don't know. I've got 3 little circles that are, I think they're 3/4 inch punch. And I'm going to put this on the back of my circle. Right in the middle of it. And then I'm going to add some glue to that. And it'll give it just a little elevation. And put my little girl right here. So that'll be a photo pocket, and you can stick things down in it, photomats, whatever. So let's put that over here to the side till I decide where I want to put them. We got 3 more to make. Okay, this one, another scrap. This one is just a little folder, and I'm going to leave it blank on the inside for photos. It is a 12-inch piece, scored at 4.5 and 10. So when you fold it up, it's like, it makes a little matchbox like. And I am going to ink up the edges. And add this to the bottom portion. And it goes this way. Just like that. Now, up here, I'm going to add the cream color. Oops, not straight, Bobby. And I am going to put this little banner in here. Actually, I might like it at the angle. See how this snowflake's going to sit. Doesn't make any difference, it's going to cover it, I think. I want to put him here, but I'm going to punch a hole in him first. And then I want to put this here. Yeah, I do like him. Let me see if I like the going down at an angle. I think I like him tucked in better. And this hanging off the edge, so that just shows a little bit. Maybe if I put it closer to the bottom, I can see more of it. I think I like it just like that. Okay, so that's going to be the game plan for that. But I want to glue these on with little circles to pop it up after I punch a hole, because I want to put a little charm dangle on this. So I'm going to leave this one as is, but it's going to be blank on the inside. So there's that one. And then I have another one of those. Same thing. So let me set that aside, because you just watched me do that one, and I'll finish it up here shortly. Then just a plain Photomat on black with 2 small pieces. This one is 5 3/4 by 3, and I have 2 Photomats that are 2 7/8 by 2 3/4, and those will fit on here. And then if you have any design paper that you want to put on the back, or more Photomats, you can do that as well. Oh, here's the piece I was talking about. I knew I had it out somewhere. Let me lay this aside here. I had thought about putting this down here, but I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be difficult to open this. And I guess it would be okay. Maybe if I pop it up a little bit, might put a little couple circles under it and then add it here. And then I'd have these little things to put under it too. Remember the tickets? This will hold it down. And a ticket. And then I can put a couple other tickets somewhere else. I think I will put that on there though, but I want to punch out a couple more little black circles so I can pop it up a little bit. Alright, I will be back shortly, and I need to reiterate the back side of this again in case anybody missed it, because I thought I was filming earlier, and I'm not sure if I was or not. So if I was, you'll see it twice. Alright, I'll be back shortly. Alright, excuse me. I just wanted to touch base with you and show you what a completed 2-page layout looks like. I have finished January, and I have lots of stuff in this left-hand sided pocket. But my thinking is, during the year, if I take pictures that I want to send to somebody, I could take something out like one of these little folders and add some pictures to it and put it in an envelope and mail it, and that would make such a cute little gift for somebody. So this is just kind of like a policy envelope without the twisty tie on it. I just put some of the design paper in one of the cutouts on the front. I used a die that I had, and I cut this snowflake out 4 times and just glued layer for layer to get a more of an embellishment out of it. And then I added a little snowman from my stash, and then it's just plain on the inside. It was so super easy to make, and it measures 12 by 3.5, and it is scored at 4.5 and 10 roughly. And then I just used my scraps to put on the front of it, and I thought it turned out so cute. Then I have another one of those, and this one has one of the tags on it from the collection. This circle was from the collection, and this is a scrap piece of banner or border trim that I had, and I just made a little banner flag out of it, and it's plain on the inside as well. But I just think they're adorable. And then I tied a little snowflake on this one. And on the inside of the front cover, when we were making the pocket, I showed you this banner that I made out of the borders. Then here's another one of the tags with an angel on it, and it's just plain on the back. You could journal or add a small photo. And then I have a double Photomat here. And then this is cut apart that was in the collection. And this is a Photomat that I made with just scraps of the spearmint color. I think it's called spearmint. It's either spearmint or aqua tint. I think it's spearmint. And it's from the My Colors collection that Tammy sells. And it matches this collection beautifully. So there's that. Let's put these back in there. And they just tuck behind that acetate. Now when you make yours, if you don't have the acetate, that's fine. You don't have to have the acetate. You can leave it open because this little bridge is going to keep anything from falling out. See, this will tuck all the way behind the bridge and then nothing's going to fall out. Now on the right hand side where the calendar is, I have another cut apart and the 3 little tags in there holding that closed. And when you lift it up, then I showed you how I pieced this together. And then 2 more Photomats like that. And then this is the little booklet that you can make little notes. I tied it with some baker's twine, made a little bow, and it's just plain on the back and it sits right down in the pocket. Now I've only got 7 sheets of lined paper in there, but you can get a lot more than that. I just wanted to put a few in there to get started and go from there. Now I told you that I was trying to stay within 2 sheets of each of the designs. One had the calendar and the cutouts, and the other one was design paper. And here's what I have left from 2 sheets. And I got all of this out of that. I have these little bitty scraps. That's all I have left from January. And I did have to go into the second sheet of the one that has the borders on it. And I think I told you that when I was doing it. Just to get this red strip. That's a border. And I needed more red on this page to pull it together, I felt like. So I did cut that border out of this second one. I didn't want to, but I didn't have a lot of choice because I needed something on there. And there's just 2 sheets of each in this collection. There's just so much going on with this. And you also have in your kit a package of these graphic 45 tags, and I will be using them. I just haven't used them yet. You can use them as a stopper in these if you want to, or you can use them in pockets down the way. Like I have one here. I haven't embellished it yet, but you can use them in the pockets here. And then this one has a second pocket under the acetate. You can use them like that, but they have to be embellished. So what I wanted to show you though is how to make these calendars. And I have made February, and then I have made March. So that one goes in here, and that will match this paper collection perfectly. And this is, what is this called? It's from My Colors, and I can tell you it's right over here. It is called Sun Glow. That's called Sun Glow. And then we're going to make June together. I want to show you how to make it with June. And in June I'm using My Colors called Aqua Tint. Here is the one for April. That'll go in there. Got all my little pieces cut out. I have to put them on black. And here is May. That's on this spearmint. And then June is going to be Aqua Tint. I haven't done anything to the outside yet. But this will be the end of the tutorial, and when I get back to you, I will show you the cover, and it's not going to be anything earth-shattering. Whoops. This goes with February. I will explain it all to you. So here's my 7 sheets. And I want to attach this up here with just a little bit of glue. And my glue bottle keeps running over all the time. And I'm just going to put glue on the 2 sides. I don't want too much because I don't want it to ooze out. Wipe that off of my fingers. So I'm going to attach this right along the top. And it's almost a perfect match side for side. This one is a perfect match. A couple of them were just a hair hanging over, but I didn't worry about that. I didn't think it was any big deal. So that's glued to there. Now I need my ruler and a marker. There's my marker. And I'm going to lay it right along this green border stripe here, just below it. And I'm going to make a mark at 2 1/8 and 2 3/4. And I'm going to stack these inside. Give myself an even margin from side to side, or as close to it as I can get. Just going to eyeball it and press this down, and then I'm going to punch a hole. Let me see which one is the one I want. This one. And we're going to put this little hole right over our mark where we can see it, and just punch it. And then we'll punch the second one. There we go. Now we're going to take the ribbon and thread it down through both of these holes. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get a hold of. Need to pinch it together so I get a little bit of a point to go through the hole. There we go. And try to keep it as flat as you can on the top so it's not all twisted up. You can spin it around. There we go. Now we're going to crisscross it, and this will slide on you, but you can straighten it up. It's no big deal. So we're going to crisscross it in the back, and we're going to bring this one through the opposite hole, and I need my pokey tool for that so I can get a hold of it. So I'm going to lay it right over the hole. It's hard to get it to go through, so I use the pokey tool to help me out. Bring it through, and then the same thing on this side. Go. And then just trim it off to the length that you want it. And that's it. That's all there is to it. So now we've got all 6 little notebooks made. So that one will go in June. So that's it for the tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed it so far. If you have any questions, if you start to make one, if you decide this is something that you want to make, if you have any questions at all, feel free to contact me. I don't mind at all. I would rather you would contact me and figure out whatever it is you might be having a problem or an issue with, rather than be stymied and stuck and get frustrated and not even complete the project, because it's so much fun to do these, you know, and I'm just here to help you all I can. So if there's anything at all, feel free to contact me. Like I said, I don't mind a bit. That's the fun of all of this, is helping each other learn and create and craft and just have a good time. So that's it. Thanks for joining me, and when I see you again, I'll be doing the final walkthrough, and that'll be it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful and a great day. Bye. Okay, we are ready to go over the cover, and I just want to explain to you what I have done. This will conclude the tutorial portion, but I have cut a 1 1/4 inch strip of each of the backside of the design papers. What I did was I had to go into what I had saved for the second project to do this, but on each of the pages, like here is February. At the very top of February, there are borders, and I cut the long border off the top, and then I flipped it over to the back side, and I used this portion. You see the red right here. I just used 1 1/4 inch of each one to make my strips so that I could have a little bit of a collage. And then I used a piece of craft and the summer white Artisan Cardstock, and I just layered those up and then added my strips. And then I printed this, Remember the Time, Volume 1, January through June, on my word processor, whatever word processing program you use. Just print it out, and I don't know the name of this font that I used. I'll try to find it and put it in the description box for you. It's just a really pretty, and I made it bold, and I made the title a little bit larger than the rest of it. And I have printed one up for volume 2, so I have it ready for the next volume. These white flowers were included in your kit, and I just added these little pink ones from my stash just to add a little color to it. And these little dots were in the package, as well as this trim was there. And then on the spine, I cut this from the cover sheet, these little squares, and just made a collage for my spine. Now the back I have left plain so far until I do the second project. I don't want to cut into any more of the paper, so I'm going to wait and see how that goes. I think, let me look real quick. I don't think I've added anything that wasn't in your tutorial. No, I think I've covered everything in the tutorial. I just wanted to explain the cover to you, and there will be a full tutorial with a cut list in the description box. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day, and I'll see you on Volume 2.